My name is Julian Reid. I've been a paranormal investigator for over 40 years. In that time, I've seen some things that are frightening and many that were terrifying. Extreme poltergeist, possessions, strange happenings, but worst of all, demons. Come and join the journey with my ghost stories.
Hello, and welcome to Ghost Stories with Julian Reid. I've been a psychic medium, if you like, spiritual medium, I like to say, for more than 40 years. I've worked in the churches, the pubs, the clubs, just about everywhere, theatres, done quite a bit. Had some videos made, by various companies over the years, and been in a few magazines as well. But when you go to somebody else's home, you detach yourself from the reality. You detach yourself because you don't want to be taking that home with you, and you surely don't want to be having the same sort of thing going in your home life as you do, if you like, in your private life, as you do in your public life. However, this happened to us once, and it just didn't happen in a small way. It was quite a big way. We'd moved from our house that we had in Swansea down to above our shop that we had. We had a shop and a cafe restaurant with a flat, call it a maisonette if you like, because it had an extra floor that wasn't quite in use at that time. So we moved into the flat above the two shops and started to renovate it. Now the renovation was taking time because we had to put a heating system in, gas boiler and radiators all around the building, which meant that we had to have all the floors pulled up, and we had to live in this whilst it was in this mess. So floors were up in places, shall we say, the bedroom everywhere, and the house was pulled to bits to get the central heating put in and to get the work that we needed done to renovate, and we're living in it. The first night that the floors were pulled up in the bedroom, there was enough of us for us to stand on, enough for the bed, thank goodness. And we'd gone to sleep, but I had a very lucid dream. A dream of a woman coming up out of the floor and shouting at me, "Kill him now. Go and get a knife and kill him, cut his throat." And that's was enough to wake me up, because she was pointing at me and then pointing at my partner in bed. He was asleep at the time. I'd bolted upright, looked around, couldn't see anything, couldn't sense anything even. Then suddenly he woke up and said, "Oh my goodness, I've just had the worst dream ever." So I said, "Let me guess. Was there a woman in it?" He goes, "Yep, an old lady telling me to kill you." She said, kill you now." And I thought, that's odd. We both had the same dream at the same time, at the same place, in the same room, and both got woken up by it. So we thought a little more of it that night, just what a coincidence, and we went back to sleep, just about, I'd say. A long day ahead of us the following day, and we had a lot of work going on in the house to finish the central heating, get the floors back down, the carpets back down, and I call it the house, but it's our home, just to save confusion, because it was a big flat, but we just call it our home. And we got it all done. The builders and the plumbers, etc., had finished their work and left, busily cleaning up, and went down and then carried on working in the cafe restaurant until round about 6 o'clock in the night. We just closed up, just gone back up. Thought we'd settle down for the night. However, and this is where it all gets a little bit weird, we noticed that things had been moved around, and we thought, well, nobody's been up, so only one way in and one way out. We'd been cleaning, we'd been busy. I thought, let's put it down to, if you like, us being tired and maybe not realising what we were doing. So we just left it at that. Went to bed, had awful dreams. The two of us had terrible dreams. Again, somebody shouting at us and telling us to do the most awful things. So we thought, well, maybe it's because the house has been pulled apart. And when you do pull a house apart, especially if it's an old house, it does affect the, let's call it the home's own aura. The home's own aura will do. Like people have auras, their objects have auras, and the home itself had been disrupted, pulled apart. So its aura was being messed with. So, another night goes, busy day. We wake up in the morning, notice again things had been moved around. Things in the kitchen weren't where we left them. We'd heard noises in the night, but we decided not to investigate, just to have a good night's sleep and worry about it the following day. So there we were, looking around, thinking what on earth is going on. Went downstairs, and things had been moved around downstairs. So we thought, does somebody else got a key? But then we remembered, no, all the locks had been changed. There was only the ways in and out that we knew of. The building was quite secure, and there had been an alarm on downstairs at night as well. So we thought, right, this is really getting peculiar now. So we thought, what are we going to do about this? We thought the only thing we can do is maybe bless the house and see if that helps. So we went around the house blessing each area. We went first of all to the very, very top floor, blessed that, came down, did the living room, the bedroom, kitchen, dining room, bathroom. But this is where it all gets a little bit peculiar. It meant we had a haunting. Now there are different types of hauntings, you know, from the most mild to the most severe, from demons, but this didn't feel like a demon or anything. It also didn't feel as if it was bad. It was disruptive and giving us awful dreams, but it didn't feel like it was coming from a bad place. So that night we heard, strange, but we heard sort of noises upstairs on the very top floor, and we weren't quite there yet. We hadn't made that bedroom, that room into a bedroom, and that was going to be our bedroom. So we thought we'd better go up and have a look to see what's going on. Up we went into the room, and all we could see was a dark mist swirling around in the room with little orbs of light, and it was swirling around the centre of the room. The room itself was very cold, but we put that down to the fact heating hadn't been on long, and the house itself was the home itself was beginning to warm up from the heaters that we'd put in, you know, the central heating and the boiler. It had never had anything like that in the building before. So we thought, let's leave it. Nothing we can do tonight. We blessed the house already, blessed our home already. We went down and went to bed, and then the noises started. The banging, the clanging, the shaking. The bed was shaking. We thought, the radiators are new. Maybe it's the pipes. We went and checked the pipes. There was nothing moving. We went and got one of our meters, EMF meters, and checked around the house as well for anything electromagnetic. Nothing. Nothing at all. Let's try and sleep again, we thought. Went back into bed, and as we got in the bed, within 5 minutes or so, the bed did a big jolt away from the wall. It moved about an inch, inch and a half, the whole bed, and we were both awake at the time. So that gave us enough of a fright, and we thought there is definitely something going on in this house. It's been our home for about 3 or 4 days, but it's been there for about 150 years. It had been a sweet shop, hardware store, it had also been a health food shop, many other things over the years, including at one time it had been a cafe, and obviously we turned it into a cafe restaurant, a vegetarian cafe restaurant at that. So we thought, well, why is this coming back time and time again? Why is it getting stronger even though we've blessed our home? So the following day, my partner, he'd gone down to work and was busy in the cafe restaurant. I was upstairs finishing off some jobs. I walk in to the living room and I see somebody lying on the floor, like a man of about 18, 19 years of age. Just a flash, in old clothes, but just a flash. And I thought, I swear I saw somebody on the floor just now. And as I turned, the lady was there standing, looking at me. And she looked tall, but she obviously wasn't. So she must have been off the ground. Staring at me, staring through me, and pointing to the floor. Then, in a second, disappeared. I went down, told my partner what had happened. He said, well, when we go up again tonight, let's do a little call out and see if we can make contact with her and find out what's going on. So I said, that's a very good idea, let's do that. We finished about 6 o'clock, went up to settle down. I went into the living room, and as I walked through the door, I again could see the lad on the floor and somebody looking down at him, holding something in his hand. It looked like it was something old, and I'd say it resembled an ornament or something like that, but it was in his hand, and it was a split second again. He looked at me and then he disappeared, and the gentleman on the floor disappeared at the same time. So I'd seen something, and I mean, you see things in many different ways. Sometimes it's just things that repeat and repeat in somebody's home, and it's just like a film, if you like, that's stuck on the loop. But this wasn't, because he looked at me. So he's playing out, or they're playing out what had happened, or somebody was playing it out to show me. So we called upon the woman and said, look, come and speak with us. Just come and let us know what's wrong. So in that moment, we could hear her in our minds saying that her son had died in that room, and they weren't sure whether it was an accident or murder, and it was one of his friends that did it. So we thought, well, there's no point in trying to say, well, I don't think that's the case, or trying to calm the situation down. We just told her, we'll find out. We'll do our best and we'll find out. Things calmed down for a few days after, and everything seemed fine. So we thought, let's book a holiday. And I thought we could go away for the new year. This was 1999 going into 2000. So I thought, the millennium. Let's go abroad for the millennium. And we booked that holiday. In between the time that we went on that holiday and we carried on living in the flat, our home, things sort of improved until we had a customer that came in that told us that she used to live there many years ago, and they had the shop below. She said she was fighting with her husband a lot and there was a lot of tension, and the gentleman that was sitting with her was her second husband. So we said the usual, is that commiserations or congratulations? And she said, congratulations, because she's got rid of a bad man. I've killed him and I put him in the cellar. With that we thought, really? So after she and the gentleman left, we went down the cellar to have a look. We couldn't really find anything apart from a very odd anomaly. The floor in the cellar was all cobblestones, and there was an area about 6 feet by 2 feet where the cobblestones had been disturbed and put back, but not been put quite right back, and it looked almost like somebody could have been buried under there. But we thought, we don't want to find that out, we really don't. So when we went back up to the flat that night, the tension was back and the problems had started all over again. So we called upon the lady that was in the house. She turned up. We spoke with her again, telling her, look, we just want the house to be, our home to be in love and light. We don't want any of this bad feeling and poltergeist activity and all the other things that were going on. And if she wants to live there, she's got to live in harmony with us. It started to calm down, but just before she left, I said, how many of you are here? And she said, many. There's many of us here. We're all here. We're stuck here. So I thought, okay, well, if you can tell the others that we don't mean them any harm, we just want to turn the place into a beautiful place to live. It all calmed down. Many of our friends that came to our home said the atmosphere was absolutely brilliant, lovely vibe, good feeling about the place. And then just before we left to go on holiday, all hell broke loose. The house got disrupted yet again. We were in the car driving towards Gatwick, because we were flying from Gatwick, and in the car there was me, my partner, and the lady from the flat, and she was giving us hell for about 2 hours down that road, and then eventually seemed to give up and leave. She was very unhappy that we were going to go away for a few weeks and leave the place unattended, and she just didn't want us to go. So the bond was now there, but it's quite terrifying when you can't see the person properly, but you can sense they're there and they're giving you absolute hell. So we eventually get to Tunisia, have a brilliant holiday, brilliant New Year. It's now 2000, we come back and we decided we're going to get ourselves a house. We're going to move from the flat and get a place of our own. So we did. We went and bought a beautiful place at the top of a mountain. But just before we left, we told her and the others that were there, if they want to come, please do come with us to the new place. And they did. But then, after a couple of years, we decided to sell everything up and move again. And this time we were going to America. So I had a nice big van. It was a 16-seater bus that I'd taken the seats out of to use to move furniture and various things around. So I told them all, stay in the bus, and we're going out to have a look to see where we want to live out there. When we get back, if they want to come with us, they can. If they didn't want to, then they could go back to the flat and stay there if they wanted to. So we went off to America, had a good look round, and when we came back, my partner's mother said, your nephew has been around, and he's only 3, and said, who's that sitting in the back of the van? Through all the windows I can see loads of people in there, and they're waving at me. And we said to him, there's nobody in the van. The van's empty. And he said, no, they're there. They're waving. They're waving at you, and they're waving at me. So we thought, he has seen something while we were away, and he says they're still there. So, our guests were still in the van, and it's nice to have a happy ending to a ghost story. They came with us, they've been with us ever since, and they've been absolutely perfect.